Well, what can I say? It's certainly been an interesting and very trying and very challenging chapter of my life. I want to start off by saying things could be far worse. These are difficult things to deal with, but overall, we're all healthy and, I have my family and all this kind of stuff. So like the core things in my life are very good. But I will say on the horse front, life has been very challenging, very difficult. I feel like ever since Emporio got diagnosed, it's been like a downhill trend from there of just problem after problem after problem. I feel like we try so hard for our horses with our management. I feel like we go like above and beyond in also so many small things that you guys don't see for checkups we do, like the daily management, just so many things, like having them out as much as possible, just everything that we do, the people we work with, the vets, the farriers, everything that we do is for our horses. And somehow I've struck these sequences of bad luck that just don't seem to end. There's this thing that people say, like, all magic comes at a cost. And I really feel that to be true at the moment because we're surrounded by so much magic and amazingness. As you might have seen by the title of the video, King is going to have surgery. And I've just gotten him, which is the most disheartening part of it all. I was sitting on this couch when I started filming because I was looking back at the vlog, and I was sitting on this couch when I said, oh, he's just about to arrive. And now I'm sitting on this couch. He's not even home. He's at the vet clinic and he's going to be having surgery in a couple of days. And I wanted to, at first, I didn't know if I wanted to share it or not, but just because I want to keep things lighthearted on the channel and I want to keep things fun, but just a little bit the reality of how things are going. So I would say like a week ago, we noticed that King, I was just riding actually, and I've been riding him very easy. Like we've been doing loads of trail rides. I've barely been cantering. I've just really been working on the trot and having him like really long and low and easy, and just like not riding him like that often as well. I've given him like a very easy start into the work and into the transition because I felt like the move really took a toll on his body, and it's something that he struggled with a little bit, was kind of like finding his feet once he got here. So I thought to myself, I'm going to just really ease into this, and I did. And you guys saw that Marja came out. We made a dietary plan for him. I also had my own vets come out and just check him over, make sure that everything was good. And so I just started to take it slowly. And then I was having a ride like a week ago. And then whilst I was riding, I thought to myself, he doesn't feel 100%, and not in the sense that he felt lame, but he felt like a little bit unwilling to go forwards. And I was like, this feels a bit strange. So I got Caroline that works for us to come have a look and see if she could see anything. We could both not really see anything, but I could feel it in the riding. So then I decided to just stop the riding, and I would just lunge him in the coming couple of days so I could see him on the ground and give him a little bit of an extra rest. And then I started to notice that in the lunging, he was fine, but every now and then there would be like a misstep, like in the walk or like a trip or something, just something was off. And then Caroline brought him into the stables one day, and I have the video of it because it was caught on our security cameras. And she was just picking out his feet. And as she picked up the left front, he completely fell to the ground with both knees down. So that was my first alarm bells of like, okay, there's something going on the right front, and there's something quite acute, because he was sound and he had been ridden that day. Actually, he was like fine. But then there was this acute moment of pain and he just couldn't handle it. And from there, it kind of started to very slowly go downhill. He started to present some mild lameness on the lunge on the right front. There was some mild swelling. We got the vet out straight away. We did x-rays, ultrasounds. We couldn't see anything. So we just put anti-inflammatories on him, gave him some rest, and it wasn't improving. I kept seeing the missteps. I kept seeing the tripping. The swelling got worse. In the end, we decided the best thing to do was to do an MRI. And that's what happened today. He had his MRI at the clinic. We did a standing MRI. So I made sure to go to a clinic where he didn't have to be sedated for that. And through the MRI, we found that he has like a piece of bone in the carpal joint area. There's a piece of bone that is rubbing the tendon, which is very, very frustrating. I've never had sort of an issue in this area before. It's just in the, let's call it the back of the knee of the front leg of the horse. So this bone is just touching, and how they described it to me is it's basically the same as when you are walking and in your shoe you have like a pebble. And so you're fine until the pebble moves around in your foot, and then you put your whole weight on the pebble and instantly you want to get your weight off it because it's very painful. So the vet called me this morning to tell me the news of the MRI and the finding that there was this kind of like, let's call it like a little bone spur touching the tendon. My first thing was like, you know, is this something he's been dealing with before? Is there any past scar tissue on the tendon that would indicate that? And he said no. He said these things are more common in young horses, that they kind of just flare up and come up as the horse is developing and changing. But he's like, I see no evidence of it having happened before. So the people that sold them to me were very honest, very transparent, very nice. So I don't think it's anything that they would have known. It's also something that isn't visible in x-rays or in ultrasounds. So it just appears to be bad luck. I mean, it's something he's born with. But the course of action now is going to be surgery, because we have to remove this bone spur that is touching the tendon. So this is not what I had planned. This was not part of the planning, but with horses, that is how it goes sometimes. And he's a young horse, and I have obviously several options. I could choose to do nothing and just hope that with time it would get better. But because he is so young, if I have the opportunity of making a positive influence into his life now that will safeguard him for the future, I want to do that. So what we're going to be doing is surgery, which is just, I mean, I could never have fathomed this. And I was having so much fun with him. He's the sweetest horse. He was trying so hard. He was getting so much better in just his flat. And I'd reached out to like an eventing trainer, and I was about to start setting that up. So it just blows my mind how quickly things can change. So he's going to be going in for surgery in a few days. And we are hoping that obviously everything's going to go smoothly. They're going to be able to find the spur properly and resolve that situation. But the recovery is not, they don't just recover overnight from that. So he's going to need like quite a few weeks of box rest, and then slow integration and rehabilitation back into the work. And with surgeries, there's never any guarantee of how effective it's going to be and what the prognosis is going to be after. That's something that only time will tell. So I'm just in a bit of a pickle. It seems that I can't seem to steer away from heartbreak. That just seems to be haunting me. So I did want to bring you guys honestly on that journey and tell you what was going on. I wanted to almost safeguard it at first and keep it light and lighthearted and positive, but it's just the reality of how it is. And I just want to be honest with that is horse keeping and horse management. And I think Yes and I had an immense amount of luck that we really, well, I say that, my horse passed away last year, but we've so far had an immense amount of luck with our horses. We've never had any like really big things. But we seem to be getting hit all at once now. First Andorra, then Torino, then this one, then Emporio. Obviously, that started it all. So yeah, it's just been a lot of bad luck. And I asked, is there any way I could have prevented this or done something differently? And he said, no, it's just something that's there that's causing the irritation, and it doesn't matter what anybody does. It's just there, and it just flares up when it's touching. I'm currently on my way to go get King. It's the day after his surgery. He's had some time to settle and kind of like recoup. Obviously, he was under full anesthesia. He was laid down. He was operated. He woke up. I got a phone call from the vets. They told me that the surgery went very well and that they were pleased. They were able to clean up the tendon and they shaved down the bone that probably looking at like 6 months to probably have him back, you know, to where he was before this happened, which is a big shame. What can I say? It's like not what I obviously would have wanted for all this, but it's the cards we've been dealt. That's how it is with horses sometimes. But we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that he rehabilitates well. We're going to be doing PRP into the tendon, and we have hired a laser to also help with this. And we're going to be taking the workload very slow when he comes back. To be honest, I'm not thinking too much about what this means for the hunting season. I'm just focusing on getting him healthy. That's really the priority right now. The vet's is like an hour and a half from where we live, so just driving there now. We're basically just picking him up when I'm there. I hope he seems okay. I don't know what his actual condition is. When they called me to tell me that he had gotten out of surgery, they also said to me that they were very impressed, because typically with these heavy horses, they get up very poorly and very badly, and they said that he stood up perfectly out of anesthesia, which is a big concern when you do these operations with horses. And they said that they were very impressed and that they think he's actually a very smart horse, because it's a very difficult thing. So that was nice to hear. And they also said that he's been lovely to deal with and all this kind of stuff, which just, I mean, I know he's such a nice horse. I also did call and have conversations with King's previous owner and just told him, you know, what's going on, and gave him a heads up, and he was very sad to hear. And he also confirmed that he never had any of these issues when he had him, and I really believe that. And the evidence through the surgery also showed that, you know, there was no history of any of this going on. So this does seem to be like an isolated incident of bad luck. First things first is just picking him up, getting him home safely. I'm going to drive super slow on the way back and just make sure that he travels comfortably, he gets home safely, he's in the stable. But I'm gonna pick up with you guys once we're there, and we're gonna see actually what condition he is post surgery. Fingers crossed it's not too bad. Here we are. We should be right in here, and now I need to go to reception first and see where they have him, because he was in the stable back there when I dropped him off. But I need to see where he is now. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Oh, hi, buddy. Oh, look at you. That's a serious bandage. Hey. Hey, buddy. Hey. Yeah. Good boy. Can he walk okay with this? Yes. Okay. Okay, then I will take him home. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, we also walk to the here with him.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, then we take him home.
Yeah.
We're back. Yes is here as well, helping me out.
Hello.
I think you're gonna be quite shocked by the bandage.
Why?
It's the whole leg. It looks like he's been, but he's not on any painkillers anymore.
But is it painful or not?
No, anything. They said he should be sound in the walk. He should be sound, and if he isn't, to let them know.
But now he needs to be in the stable or what?
Yeah. He's gonna go straight in the stable. Yeah, so we're just gonna put him, and then I hope maybe in the next couple of days we can try him next to Annie, so they can be there for each other. I hope.
And then Bear can stay out.
Yeah.
No, big boy. How was he with the travel?
Yeah, pretty good. He was pretty good. Oh. Good boy.
Hey, welcome. Aw. So crazy that what he's been through.
Poor big guy.
I'll open the stable 1 sec. I really hope this helps him.
Jesus, that's why I needed a tail guard. Come here. Good boy. He needs to have this bandage on for 5 days. And then in 5 days, like another bandage for 5 more days.
We have this stuff, I think.
Yeah, but I think I'm just going to get the vet to come out anyway. Because I think
He seems quite fit.
We'll start the PRP. It hasn't taken too much of a toll on him. He seems okay. Hey?
No, I'm sorry for both of you.
I feel bad for him.
He still looks quite good.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. It's like, oh, just went for surgery.
I thought it might have taken a little bit more out of him, but I'm just quite impressed that he's not on any painkillers or anything.
Yeah.
But I want to look more into the surgery. I think it's keyhole surgery, like it's very small, but they still shave the bone and everything. Oh, you have to pee.
Pee pee. He has some time to grow even more.
I'm glad he's home at least. He drinks a lot. The vets called me when I left him there, and they were like, we would like to check his blood because he drinks a lot. But I had already done blood work, so we sent him the results and everything was fine. He just drinks a lot. That's just
He did it also when he arrived.
Yeah.
So maybe it's when he's new.
He cut his head again, I saw.
Yeah.
He's got a little cut. I don't know how or when it happened, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least he's home. That's the main thing. That's step number 1. This is King's first checkup and 5 days post-op. This was the first time actually I was getting to see the incisions for the surgery. I was actually very curious to see what laid underneath because if you look at the bandage, it does look quite severe. However, I knew from my understanding of what the surgeons did that it was actually keyhole surgery. Now try and spot it if you can actually see anything on there aside from the swelling. This is the swelling from the front. You can see that also it was time for the bandage to get changed because it was localizing the swelling at the top. This is because of the pressure. These are the tiny little keyhole surgery holes right there. There's one at the bottom as well where there's the other white dot. They're very small. There's some stitches on the inside and some visible stitches to the outside. Everything looked normal and everything was healing as it should. It was time to pop the second bandage because King's leg had to remain like this for 10 days. I will say it's not easy to do these sort of bandages because it's on a very tricky, movable area of the horse. But luckily my vet did a really, really nice job. And we got King all bandaged up, sealed up, and ready to go for another 5 days of box rest with the bandage on. We are now well and truly past 10 days post-op. I didn't want to give you guys an update until I could actually bring positive news. But everything so far is progressing really, really nicely. The bandage is off. King is still on stable rest. He's very sweet though. I'm doing my hand walking with him, just giving him a brush, trying to keep him as entertained as I can, even to the point we've put in a little ball in here with him, which actually he's been enjoying a lot. We see him playing on the cameras with it all the time. We have yet to find it thrown outside the stable. That's something that I was expecting to happen, but not yet. I wanted to read you guys actually the report and pamphlet that I got from my vets when the surgery finished. That way I could actually tell you what the kind of next steps are going to be. It's actually really nice. They gave me a whole kind of like step-by-step of what's going to be happening. So for the first 2 weeks, he's going to obviously remain on stable rest, and 2 times a day I'm going to be able to walk him for 5 minutes. That's what I have been doing, so that's for the first couple of weeks. After these first weeks, the hand walking can be increased if wished. The horse can also be trained in a horse walker. We don't have a walker, so we're just kind of hand walking him now. And we can build this up all the way that by week 6, he's walking between 30 to 45 minutes once or twice a day. So that's kind of the in-between period that we're in now, because obviously you guys have seen there's been some time between the surgery and between right now. So now we're at the stage where we're kind of trying to build him up towards that 35, 40 minutes. I will say he's been completely sound in the walk ever since he came out of surgery. We just need to see obviously how the trot's going to be once we start to work him like that. Additionally, it says that to schedule a checkup appointment 8 weeks post-surgery. and discuss the further rehabilitation of the horse through treatment of the tendon sheath with biologicals like PRP. So that's something that we're absolutely going to be doing with him, because I want to kind of give King every chance possible to recover as well and as quickly as possible, also for his quality of life. We're also going to, because he is quite a chilled and easy horse, we're going to be creating very small fields just with electric tape outside that are basically the size of a stable, 5x5, 6x6, so that he can at least have the sun on his back and graze, and we'll be able to kind of move him around throughout different days so he has fresh grass. But I just hate having horses in on stable rest. They hate it, I hate it, and it's something that is necessary, but if we can try and find another way to make it work, that would be really good. So that's a little bit where we're at. We're just in the midst of it, and I'm going to keep you guys updated as much as possible. I wanted though to only tell you the news when I could somewhat finish the video on a slightly higher note. We have ultrasounded him again. Everything does seem to be heading in the right direction. We got quite lucky because the damage to his tendon is only very superficial. It's not a big tear, it's not anything like that, but we are just, you know, taking all the right steps to make sure that he comes out of this and that it won't be happening again. And hopefully, you know, the surgery was successful, so hopefully we should be able to avoid this in the future. But I mean, I mentioned it when he came home, you know, this isn't something that's going to go away in a couple of weeks. It's going to take a couple of months to build him back up to the point where I can kind of treat him like a normal horse again. But we will put in the hard miles, and it's not my first horse that I've had surgery on. It's not the first tendon injury we've had. So we have a little bit of experience, and, you know, it's all hands on deck to make sure that we get him going well. So that's what's going to happen. That's the priority right now. I'm sorry, I know this video would have come as a shock to a lot of you guys. It certainly came as a shock to me, let me tell you. But at least we can kind of end today on some good news that King is recovering well, he's doing well, and very soon he'll be back out in a very small field, and we'll build him up from there. But obviously I will keep you guys fully updated in the coming vlogs. And I will say he's been very lively. We've had to put, I don't know if you can see it, but we've had to put a mattress on his, it's kind of like a stable mattress on his door, because he's kicking the door down, demanding attention. I've also taken, I can kind of show you, I've also taken all his extensions out in his tail. Hey! I've taken all the extensions out in his tail because he's just in the stable now. I wanted him to be relaxed, not have to bother with that. And I also had a small issue with the extensions because I contacted the lady and I said, hey, listen, they're going very yellow and the structure feels very funny. And I said, I have a funny feeling that the extensions have been bleached. And she said, hey, let me check with my supplier. They shouldn't be, but let me check. Turns out the extensions were bleached, which means that it's like impossible to keep them pure white. So I was like, okay, you know, we're just going to take everything out. This is his natural tail. Look at how thick it is. It's super thick. It's gotten a little bit of a cut as well to make it straight. And whether I try and find something else or just leave it like this, I mean, this isn't really long enough to swat the flies. But right now, whilst he's in the stable, that doesn't really matter. But I've also neatened it all up as well. I love how it's like all presented and ready to go, like if he was hunting tomorrow, yet we're on stable rest. I want to thank you guys for watching and bearing with us and all the trials and tribulations that come with life and come with horse ownership. My God, why could I not be into hamsters or soccer or something that didn't involve all these ups and downs? But your ongoing support is very much appreciated, and I'll obviously keep you updated in all the coming vlogs on King's journey, recovery, and hopefully his very first hunt, whenever that will be. So I'll chat to you guys soon. Thanks again. Catch you on the next one.